Hello everyone! Welcome to Ask the King. I'm going to be enduring this, obviously. Unfortunately for you, I'm not going to be drinking. The reason why I'm not drinking is because I find it that when I drink, I tend to slur my words even more, and it gets to the point where it might not be a watchable video. So that's why I decided to not do that. And I also don't want to die either. I mean, I have enough alcohol in my system. Okay, I don't need any more. So we're gonna watch Ask the King. Same deal as before. I'll answer the questions he gets and all that kind of stuff. So let's go straight into Ask the King.
Well, let's go into the patron questions, and then we'll move on to the forum questions and the Twitter questions. All right. So first off, this first question is from Traditional Games, and he says, "Hey Phil, I was wondering if you would consider bringing back Hate Live. I know you said there's no point since you can do individual vlogs on things now, but
at this point, he might as well bring it back because he doesn't do individual vlogs anymore. The individual vlogs he does are really nothing. They're not worth of anything. But whatever. Let's continue.
It would probably work if maybe you did the show once every other month or something like that." Also, an idea would be to do what Kind of Funny Games do. After they finish their podcast, they split the segments into individual videos. If you do it like that, you can create a channel update, a Phil Reacts video, and a back in the day.
Hold on.
Like that, you can. After they finish their podcast, they split the segments into individual videos. If you do it like that, you can create a channel update, a Phil Reacts video, and a back in the day video all in one session. What do you think about that?
That is a terrible idea. I don't know anyone that does that. The only time that people do that would be if people call in, like if they have a call-in section. But no one does that because if you do it in one session and you cut it up, it's gonna be weird because naturally when you're doing a session or if you're talking about a lot of things, they're gonna organically move piece to piece and so on and so forth. So it wouldn't really work. So I don't see how that works. Oh, by the way, he changed the banner. Oh yeah, that's right, because in case you guys did not know, his OBS, the original OBS he had, crashed on him. It fucked up. So he finally upgraded to OBS Studio, and he lost all of his templates. So this is a new template. But he really needs to fix the Patreon plug. That's way too long. It could just say pledge to Patreon to get your questions answered. He doesn't need to get all those words in there. But whatever.
Well, here's the deal. Let's fully elaborate on this question. I used to do a podcast called Hate Live. Wasn't much of a podcast. Not really. It was me sitting here talking for 2+ hours, a show where I would cover a variety of topics. Usually it would be things to do with my business, things to do with games that I would be covering in a period of time, but also current events, news, all kinds of stuff like that I would cover on Hate Live. And then in addition, I would maybe do a back in the day segment where I would have a show where I would talk about things from my past and stuff like that. It ran for about 2 years. All right, I started this show. If I remember correctly, I believe I started it in like 2013, and then it ran all the way through late 2015. Now, at the end of last year, it was actually December, I believe, of 2015, I did my final episode of Hate Live ever. Why did it go away? Well, because what I decided to do this year in 2016 was to split up the content of the show and make it a more digestible thing, because the bottom line was the show was over 2 hours long.
Digestible thing, but like the thing is that with podcasts, people can sit through hours of the video, which is fine, because that's the point of a podcast. And the way that even YouTube works is that it remembers where you left off. Sure, it's a little buggy here and there. It might either forget how far you got into the video, or it might not remember entirely, or whatever. But usually it would remember where he left off roughly. So he could have. So this whole like no one like he thinks that people are just gonna sit through one video in one sitting. And true, some people do that. But some people don't, and they just leave and come back. Like This is 42 minutes. That's almost an hour. So this is roughly, let's see, roughly between 2 to 3 hours. Roughly. I mean, it might be less than 2 for all I know. I know for sure it's over 1 hour. So if you're gonna compare that to the Hateful Truth, he's still doing the Hateful Truth, like the same length, just in the form of Ask the King. So this whole thing, like, well, it's more digestible now, doesn't really work. But whatever, let's continue.
A lot of times, and having so many topics talked about in one video makes it almost impossible to know what's going on, because let's face it, the new episode of Hate Live, what's in this episode? Then you had to click on the video, look at the video description where you would see like 20 topics discussed with timestamps. Most people don't care. They don't like that. That's not digestible.
So, okay, let's look at here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 questions here. Probably like roughly 10 per the other videos or whatever. So, but like, look how much like clutter he has. All he's saying is that it does take him a lot more work to get the timestamps of each thing. Like that's really what it means. Because like here, at least it's easier to find. Like, okay, at the end of this question, marks it down. But with the podcast, since it's kind of an organic conversation, it gets lost. You don't know when one topic ends and the other one begins half the time. But it's just, I don't know. Like this whole thing about him stopping Hate Live doesn't really make sense. It would have made more sense if he just said that it was taking time out. Like, I wanted to focus on KO Gaming and do vlogs, and that kind of defeats the purpose of having a podcast or whatever. That would have made more sense. This whole thing about length of the video and the description is ridiculous, because you could apply that same argument to Ask the King.
For YouTube, what they want is a video per segment. So, okay, there's one segment where Phil talked about this game. I want to see that. There's one segment where Phil talked about a movie. I want to see that. I don't want to see one video that has 400 subjects in it, and I have to jump around. So that's what I decided to do this year in 2016.
But fuck the people who wanted to watch the whole video all at once. The other thing we've lost from Hate Live was his conversations about random stuff that's like not even stuff he would do a vlog on. Like, he wouldn't. Like, I guess the back in the day segment would either be the $50 perk for Patreon only one time, or it would be Ask the King, I guess. But I mean, it's just he talked a lot of stuff in the Hate Live stuff that he wouldn't talk now. Part of me is thinking of covering a Hate Live video that I've not covered, or an old one. I'm thinking of doing that. Maybe. I might do that, but I don't know. Let's continue, though.
Now, it's funny because there's actually a question coming up later on, and you know what? I might as well just address it now, but I don't know exactly where the question is. Hold on.
Oh, here we go.
The question was, and it sucks because now I can't find it, and I want to give a shout.
I love how he's like going out of order for this question.
The person who submitted this question. Hold on. Here it is.
Okay.
Phil, why have you stopped doing your Phil React series? The series made me laugh more than ever in my life. The one on Batman vs. Superman, when you saw that movie.
Phil Reacts. Wow, is that even a question here? Did he even put it? No, he didn't. He did not even put the question in the description. But I guess that's, because it's going in tandem with this. So, there's that. The Phil Reacts video is dead because he's very busy, guys. He's a busy YouTuber. Can't do simple vlogs, and he probably can't afford to go to the movies because his money is so bad.
Movie earlier this year, as well as the one on WrestleMania 32, were some of the best ones you've ever done.
Really?
You're doing those videos again for Wing.
Really, the wrestling videos?
Master 19.
Okay.
So what happened this year?
Okay.
I started doing these videos. It would be, I saw a movie, I react to the movie. Oh, I saw a WrestleMania pay-per-view, I'll do a reaction to that. Oh, there's a news story that Final Fantasy.
I also remember him saying that he was gonna watch Doctor Strange, but I guess he never saw that movie.
Fantasy 15 is being delayed. I'll react to that. And there were big news stories this year that I reacted to. But I didn't get to do it as often as I would have liked, quite honestly. And right now, honestly, I haven't done it in months. I haven't done it since Final Fantasy 15 got delayed, which was back in, what was it, the summer? August, I think?
Wait, I want to check this because I don't think that's right. I mean, I know this is an anal thing to look at. Like, I know it's fucking like ridiculous in that sense, but
hello everyone, and
for science. This is for science, guys. Oh, there's a Ask the King I did record, but it got fucked. The Last Guardian was the last reaction video he did, not Final Fantasy 15. No, it was Street Fighter 5. It was Street Fighter 5. If you really like, technically it was Street Fighter 5 in my opinion, but the last real Phil Reacts was really this one. But everything else, not really. But I guess I guess it's the last. No, dude, like, okay, this is like ridiculous now. The last real, true Phil Reacts is the oh my god, yeah, no, it's this one. Jesus, I was right the first time. Wow, yeah, this was the last Guardian, but that's like such an anal thing to pick. It's nitpicking at this point, but yeah, it was 2 months ago that he did that. So, there you go.
And you might say, well, why? Why is Phil just dropping it? And the answer, quite honestly, is a very simple one. I didn't drop the series. The problem is, I'm too busy to do it. Like, my schedule right now, because we're in the busiest gaming season of the year.
So then why are you doing Ask the King? If you're so busy, why are you doing Ask the King? If you're so busy, why did you waste everyone's time with streaming Call of Duty 4 on Monday to test your OBS when you could just have done Watch Dogs 2, do a test stream of that, or whatever, so that way you get footage and you can move forward with that playthrough. If you're so busy, why are you doing all these things that you could be using? But whatever, he's so busy, guys, really busy.
Insanely packed. I'm already behind. Just think about it. In the past few months, I skipped out on a bunch of games that I didn't even bother covering, alright? Some games that I covered, I barely covered. Gears of War 4, all I did was play the campaign. I never even did the multiplayer or the Horde mode. I'm still trying to squeeze in a session of Infinite Warfare Zombies if I ever can, so I can review the game.
Take a sip.
Right now, I'm in the middle of an ongoing Watch Dogs 2 playthrough. I started a Pokemon Moon playthrough. I just did the Batman Telltale series, but then I got a marathon coming up on Monday, but then Final Fantasy releases on Tuesday. So you see what I mean? I'm so busy right now that, like, everything I'm doing already is backed up, and I'm constantly playing games, and then I do a review. The thing is, with the Phil React series and the vlog...
But remember, he doesn't rush through games.
...vlogging that I've been doing... It's a good thing. I like it. I like doing it. But it really ends up being the secondary thing to my business. I'll be honest with everyone. This channel, The King of Hate Vlogs, makes almost no money. Because, number one, I don't post up a lot of videos here all the time. It's maybe, a couple a week. When I do post up videos, let's face it, it's not like this channel is getting insane amounts of views or anything. It's not. So this channel has to kind of be my secondary focus and balance it with everything else. Now, I'll be honest.
See, this is what I said last year when I talked about having a third channel. 2 channels, honestly, are hard enough. Like, I have 2 channels myself, and it's very hard to balance these 2 channels. Like, I would love to kind of drop, kind of like take a break from this channel and focus on my main channel. But then with this channel, like this channel is just a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun and easy to do. So obviously it's easy to sink time into this channel. I know that's gonna sound kind of shitty or whatever, but it's just doing reaction videos are just kind of more fun, I guess. Doing videos like this is just entertaining to some degree, but creatively this is not that satisfying. Creatively, I like my main channel way more. I think that channel it's a lot better than this. And I don't think the videos, I'm not saying that the videos on that channel are necessarily amazing either, but at least, that channel, I'd have a lot of videos that I'm experimenting stuff with. And honestly, the one thing I do like about this channel as well, a lot of the things I like about this channel is that I loved reacting to my own videos. Like, I have like a few video series that I've reacted to a lot of my old videos, and I still want to get back to that because that to me was like was so fun to sit there and be like, wow, look at these old videos. It's something. It's something else. But back to Phil. Balancing 2 channels is hard. Doing 3, like, dude, that is ridiculous. No one can handle 3 channels. Like, I know some people have more than 1 channel, but either that they forget the other channel, or, you know, one other channel is like a seasonal channel or something. I don't know, but to me personally, I think 2 channels is the max. I can't see anyone having more than 2. The only way that you can excuse that would be if, you know, if the 3rd channel is like a backup channel. Like, oh, if this channel goes down, I have another one that I can get partnered easily or whatever. But it's just kind of, you know, it's kind of whatever.
Honest, when I was doing more vlogging, it was doing well. It was actually getting more views and it was increasing in popularity. But then with all the busyness of this gaming season, I kind of had to focus on that, or else the bottom line is if I'm falling behind on gaming, I'm not reviewing games or whatever, people are going to be pissed. So I have to kind of be up to date on that before I can worry about doing these vlogs, all right? Now, going hand in hand with that.
But that's the thing, like, you know, for example, my RWBY Volume 3 review, for example, that is out. It's done. It's fucking done. That video I had sitting for like a year almost. And I kept working on it, then I kind of stopped working on it for a while, and one of my loyal viewers, I know you're watching this, dude, hello, kept commenting, where's RWBY? What about RWBY? Give us RWBY, Theo. Like, give us that review. I finally decided to bunker down and finish it. The only thing I will say, kind of a criticism to my own video, and the guy who wanted it also criticized on it. I didn't like the video of it. Like, I didn't like how I did the review. I had a whole like script I wrote for it, and then I just ignored it, which I thought was fucking dumb. I don't know why. What possessed me to just do that? But I trashed that script for whatever reason. I guess I scrapped it because when I was recording, I didn't want to keep like looking at a screen and be like reading like this. This just looks kind of weird. But I wanted to make it more organic, I guess. I don't know. I don't know why I you know, when I do the Volume 4 review, I'm definitely going to try more stuff differently. You know, I don't know. We'll see when I cross that bridge. But, you know, he kept begging for that review. I gave it to him. I also didn't like the art. I thought the art of it was pretty garbage. But I was using a application that isn't great for painting. The application I was using is called Mischief. It's a vector art program. Vectors are the straight lines, basically. There's no jaggies or whatever. Mischief is good for sketching and figure drawing, but it's not good for painting. And I think, you know, when I do another video like that, I'm going to switch to a program once I get to the coloring stage to go, you know, do it in an actual painting program. But that's a little creator commentary for you.
I was doing vlogs on movies that I was seeing, right? I did Captain America Civil War. I did I do Star Wars? Yeah, I think I did Star Wars The Force Awakens. And I might have done one more, and I can't put my finger on it. I think I did like trailers.
Batman.
A couple trailers.
Batman vs. Superman, he forgot about that movie.
And I actually did those. Oh, Deadpool I did this year. I think I did trailers and stuff like that too, okay? So that was good. But the bottom line is, I haven't seen many movies at all this year. And you might say, well, why not? Well, because I'm busy. And this is kind of funny because everyone, well, Phil, you just sit around and you play games all day. So I don't understand why you say you don't have time to do this stuff, or, you know, because I don't. You know, unlike these other YouTubers, people always love to compare me to other YouTubers without actually looking apples to apples, right?
What? Like, yeah, but you're a gaming YouTuber, and they're comparing you to other gaming YouTubers. You're on a website, like, you know, that's like me saying, you can't compare me to Tevin, okay? You can't compare me. That's completely different. You're not looking, like, yeah, you can compare me to other, like, detractor channels. I mean, the only difference I have is that this channel is like a small little channel, and this big fish of detractors. So to me, I would just say, like, look, I'm a small fish. I'm not like you know, I don't get almighty Tevin numbers. I don't get numbers that the SOK would get. You know, all that shit. I'm just a tiny little fish in this pool.
Go look at the big gaming YouTubers on YouTube and look at how many games they actually play and how many videos they actually put out. And now look at my channel, all right? My day is full. I am constantly either playing games, uploading videos, creating edited videos. I am jam-packed just to make ends meet here. You know what I mean? To pay my bills, that's what I'm doing. I'm nowhere near as popular as these big YouTubers who are putting out one video a day, and then they have all this fucking free time. You know?
But no, okay. I'm gonna name drop Mega 64 again. I know you're tired of it. I mean, it's not like I'm a fan or anything, but they do skits, they do projects, they do all kinds of stuff, and they also have been doing a Let's Play videos for their patrons, for their patrons, and they do a podcast, and they have time to play video games, and they have time to watch movies. Sometimes, yeah, they don't have time to do that kind of stuff because they've been like working on either merch that they're trying to get out, DVD, Blu-ray, whatever. Like, their Black Friday was extremely swamped. They did a Black Friday stream last night when they were putting stuff up on their store to be purchased, and they got bodied hard. Shirts were selling out within like 5 minutes. All this stuff, and these people aren't a team of YouTubers. It's like 4 people, one person helping filming, another person like moderating their chat, and one guy who runs the site. So, that's like 4, 5, 6, 7 people in total that work with them, and they have only 2 people handling the merch, and they're doing all this stuff. They're trying to get stuff mailed out, trying to get all this stuff, and he's sitting here saying, "Oh, I'm so busy playing video games and uploading stuff and editing videos." Let's go to his KO Gaming channel. Oh, got a text message. Yeah, I know it's today. Whatever. I'll talk to him later. Let's see, KO Gaming. Let's see what the latest video was and see when that was released.
Hello,
everyone. 1 week ago. Yeah, man. Text messages. Yeah, it was 1 week ago, but I mean, it's not as much. All he does is reviews on that channel, and his reviews are kind of garbage.
I don't have that free time. I can't travel to conventions. Actually, there's a question here coming up about PAX West and stuff like that I'm going to answer and directly address, but I don't have time for travel anymore. I don't even have time to go to the movies. The bottom line is this.
But you can make going to a convention profitable. You can have a booth. Oh, wait. He doesn't have any merch to sell. Never mind.
1 day a week. Out of my entire 7-day week, 1 day a week, I take half a day to go to dinner with Leanna. So once a week, we actually get to go out for dinner and kind of have a date night. And you want to know what our date night entails?
Even over this, I think I don't know if it was in another video I said or it was in the muted Ask the King, but date night is usually a thing couples do like once a month or once in a while. It's not a weekly thing that couples do because, well, in a long-term relationship, I should say, like a married couple or whatever, because they live together. Date night is something that they do sparingly because it adds a sense of relief. If they do it every week, like they've been doing, it's just not gonna add to anything. It's just gonna be like, oh, okay, like, and you can kind of see that their relationship is just straining because usually, I don't know. Actually, I don't know about that, but it's just date night. I don't think is a weekly thing couples do, but what do I know? But like, even if they spend time, they watch movies together, they watch anime together. Let's go to Phil's Instagram. We're going on a lot of field trips in this video. I just realized that. They call me DSP. Watching movies right there. This is their Thanksgiving feast, which is a pretty pathetic one if you ask me, but There's their tree. There's Leanna like doing that. Eating dinner together still, watching more anime together, watching a movie together, watching another movie together, playing with hamsters, watching an anime together, watching a movie together. But they don't. They have weeknight. They have date night once a week, guys. This is sad, guys. They have no time together. Watching a movie, watching a movie, watching a movie. Wow, wow, dude. I think I made my point. Oh, we have that great picture.
Tails, dinner, and errands. So whatever errands we need to do that week, we gotta go grocery shopping. We gotta pick something up for the house or whatever. You know, fill up the gas tank. That kind of shit. That's what we do when we're out.
Philip, dude, the gas tank doesn't need to be filled all the time. I mean, like, that's like, how often do you use your gas? And what gas, like, gas tank in your car? Like, what gas tank are we talking here? Gas tank for your grill? Gas tank for, your oven if it needs gas? I don't know. Like, I guess a car. I'm assuming a car, but, like, a car their car probably has good mileage, unless it's a lemon.
Oh, that's our date night. And rarely once in a while, we get to go see a movie. I know this year we saw Deadpool. Well, we saw Star Wars, Deadpool, Civil War. I think that was it. Like, oh, you know what I think about? The last movie we saw was The Conjuring 2, but we ended up seeing it like 3-4 weeks after it was already out. So there was no reason to do a react video to it because the movie was already old, right? These other YouTubers, they're seeing the movies the day it comes out because they're not fucking busy. They go right to the theater.
Of course, if they go to the movie, they're not busy. Okay. Okay. I mean, people always find time to relax. Like again, you know, my mom and my dad. My dad did a lot of night shifts in a hospital. Okay, he did the night shifts. He was still able to find time to go to the movies, play golf, play tennis. He used to work out, but not as much as when he got older. Talk to his family, talk to his sisters and his mom, or my grandmother, I should say. And my mom was able to read books, watch the Greek news, cook, clean, do a lot of stuff that both my parents were able to find free time, and they were busy people. Like, come on, Phil, and you record videos for like 3 hours a day or whatever. You wake up at around like noon. Are you kidding me? Come on, get out of here.
Watch it and do a react video for it. Sorry, you know, I wish that was my life. I wish that I had freedom like that. I don't,
yeah, he doesn't have freedom. He can't just wake up early. Okay, don't. That's not viable for him.
Bottom line is, the day that I don't sit here and play through a game and record the game and upload or stream when I'm not editing is a day that I don't make any money.
You know what? I want someone. I would love for someone to ask him, why, if you're so strapped on time, if you don't have any time, why can't you wake up early to get stuff done early, or something like that? Like, ask him something like, why? Like, usually, if you have a lot of stuff to do, you get up early to do that. Like, honestly, there were days where I wanted to cover the weekend preview or whatever other video that someone uploaded, and I was like, well, I have to mail letters, I have to get stuff from the supermarket, I have to get dressed for I put my uniform on to go when I go to my EMT service place, so I have to get my uniform dressed. I wake up early so that I can get ready and maybe have time to either do a video or do something that is relaxing for me. Waking up at like noon is not gonna help me do that, because then I'll get dressed, I have to do all this stuff, and by the time I'm done with all that, I'm probably gonna sit there and be like, no, I'm just gonna relax and not do a video. But if I want to do a video, I get up early to do that. Why can't he wake up early?
And making a react vlog to a movie that gets what, 10,000 views doesn't even pay enough for the cost of the movie. You know what I mean? Just going to the movies, what, $20 a ticket? Most movies now are $15 to $20 a ticket, you know. So it doesn't even pay.
Why not go during a matinee? Why not go when the ticket prices are usually lower? And the other thing that's kind of a cheat, Phil. Well, is that you can get this loyalty program for a movie theater. Like, I'm also a member to this to a movie theater near my house. So so every time I go to the movies, I might get a free movie out of it because it collects points. So I was able to watch a lot of shitty movies that normally I would not pay for. The best example I could think of would be Unfriended. I saw that movie because I had so many free tickets backed up. I had like 10 free tickets. Fucking insane. And I was like, oh, okay, great. I'm gonna watch Unfriended. That movie looks so shitty. It's gonna be funny. And it was so shitty that I laughed. I loved it. It was the best shitty movie I've seen. Dude, it was great. It was great how bad it was.
Pay the cost of the movie, so it doesn't make any sense. And I know people don't want to hear that, right? But that's the honest truth answer to the question here. The reason why the Reacts videos have kind of gone away is because I'm too busy covering the games right now. And it's more of a thing to fill in. Like, for example, when you think about the times when I did those videos earlier this year, gaming was nowhere near as crazy as it is right now. There was a lot of free time during that time. And right now, I don't have that free time, all right?
Okay.
Now, next year, there seems to be an unprecedented amount of new games that are going to be released January.
Unprecedented. Oh, in January. But who fucking cares?
Through April. Like, it almost seems like a lot of publishers said, screw the holiday season. We're going to try to do it earlier in the year. So,
dude, that's every year. Are you kidding? Every game, there's always like a heavy flow of games in the spring. It's not new or unique or different. That's always been the case. Always. Because look, a lot of developers look at the holiday season, and if they know that their game is either buggy or, if they can't get it to, they're not going to get good sales if the game is shit. So they delay it so they could polish it more and they could probably have less competition. All this other stuff that goes into it, but whatever, let's continue.
Next year, early on in the year, is going to be very crazy with game releases. I just want to prepare everyone for that because I don't think a lot of people are aware of how crazy it's going to be with new game releases next year, all right? But if there's some movies and stuff coming out that I want to see and I actually get a chance to go and see a movie, I'll see it. Like right now, I wanted to see Doctor Strange. 100%. I like the character. I used to read Marvel comics. I used to know about Doctor Strange.
Okay.
Hell, I've even got games that I play. I got this Marvel game that I play on my phone, and Doctor Strange was a new release character, and it had a tie-in with the movie. I was like, wow, this would be great. And then I realized I was too busy. I didn't have the time to go.
He was so busy, but he was able to play mobile games. And do loot box videos, loot crate videos, and to do DSP Tries It. Maybe he could have taken the time that would make DSP Tries It and make a vlog, but DSP Tries It is also now on hiatus because of this, and so is Pokemon Moon.
Go to the movies, so I haven't even seen the movie. I probably won't see it till it's on demand. And that's kind of the situation right now with me and my life. It's that hectic, right? Just to make ends meet and pay the bills, I'm working my ass off. I don't even have free time to go see a movie every once in a while and do a react video on it, okay? So the bottom line is that's the deal. Now, the original question here from Traditional Games is, would I ever bring back Hate Live? Here's the thing. I like his idea.
Traditional Games. That fucking guy. He is... Like, everyone, shits on Airy Lord. This is going to be a little rant on Traditional Games, but everyone gives shit on Airy Lord for flip-flopping, but Traditional Games is the worst about it, because, he left the forums by saying, fuck everyone, fuck the detractors, fuck everyone. He had a very, explosive exit, and then he comes back on the forums and is like, oh, I love everyone! It's like, okay, Traditional Games. What a great user.
Is do a 2 to 2.5 hour podcast, great, but record segments separately, so that way you have a series of videos that you can release, and they're separate from each other, And that way people can digest them. So maybe I do Hate Live, and I record 5 videos. One is news about me and my business. One is
no! That's a terrible idea! Dude, no! 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 No, that's awful. That's an awful idea. That's just... Dude! Imagine if you are subbed to KO Gaming, DSP Gaming, and the King of Hate Vlogs, and he applies this new technique for Hate Live to do that. Your sub boxes will be nothing but this guy, guaranteed. It'll be nothing but him. Dude, that's terrible advice. That's terrible advice. No. That's worse. That's even worse than.
And news that's going on. One is I don't know, a back in the day segment. One is a special segment on, I don't know, who knows, whatever.
Because honestly, at that point, just make those be individual series. Then make the back in the day segment a series. Then don't make it like just do that then.
A movie or something, right? And then I have 4 or 5 videos, and I don't even have to release those all on the same day. I can release one on that day, and then spread them out over the course of the week. So once a day, you get a nice digestible vlog. I like this idea. I do, and I want to say thank you to Traditional Games. This is a good idea. And obviously, he stole it directly from Kinda Funny Games, whoever they are. But it is what it is. Let's think about it. Let me think about it. Right now, I'll tell you right now, it's not going to happen. There's no way that it could happen right now because I'm too busy with all the games and stuff I'm covering. This could be something that I start doing in 2016. If I realize I'm not having time to do the reaction videos and the stuff that I want to do, instead I do separate segments on like a podcast for half a day, and then that becomes a series of vlogs that I can release over a week, and it gives me content for you. That's a good idea, so thank you to Traditional Games. Great idea. What do you think? What do you, the viewer, think? Leave comments on the video, social media. Let me know what you think, and I'll consider it maybe next year. That'll be a change for 2017. All right. Okay,
all right.
Next question. Well, actually, questions. This one is from Marl. She says, Phil, I have some questions. First of all, Nintendo confirmed that there won't be any backward compatibility for the Nintendo Switch with physical media like the Wii U discs and Nintendo 3DS cartridges. What are your thoughts?
Because, well, for the Switch it makes sense because there's no disc drive. They're doing all cartridges for that. So it'd be kind of dumb. I mean, it'd be kind of tricky to have a disc drive that you could carry around everywhere. Like, I don't know, I don't know. This is a little weird.
Let's be honest here.
Oh, okay. Let's look at the question so I can answer it before he answers his dumb question. I mean, his dumb answer. He gives us his dumb answer. My thoughts on no backward compatibility. The PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, technically the Xbox One, don't have backwards compatibility. The Xbox One has backwards compatibility, but it's like the same deal with the 360, where it's like certain games are backwards compatible. So that's not, to me, that's not true backwards compatibility, where it's like 100% everything from the old gen is compatible. I kind of don't consider it, but the PS4 doesn't have it. And to me personally, I used to love backwards compatibility, and I do see the attraction to it. But to me, when I buy a new console, I mostly care for the new games. And backwards compatibility is nice; it's a nice feature. But if it's like, but it's not a reason to buy a console to me. Like, if there was if they had two different models, like a backwards compatibility model and one that isn't, I wouldn't care. I probably would have gone with the one that doesn't have it because that's probably going to be cheaper. It's not a deal breaker for me, so I don't really care that much about the Switch not being backwards compatible because it's not a big deal. To me, I understand it being a big deal, but to me, it's like I bought PS4. That's not compatible with PS3 games. So if I'm gonna really be, critical of Nintendo for dropping backwards compatibility, then I should be also critical of every other company that does that. Which again alludes to the PC Master Race guys being like, "Oh yeah, we're the best because we don't have to worry about that," which is true. I mean, PC, you guys are great.
Backwards compatibility is nice, okay?
Look, Phil's gonna shit on Nintendo because of it. Just fucking wait.
But is it really needed when a lot of these consoles you can just download digitally? You know what I mean? Like, the Wii U, technically, is not backwards compatible with the Wii. You can't put a Wii disc in.
Yeah, you can. I played House of the Dead 2, Mad World. Every Wii game on the Wii U is backwards compatible on the Wii U. You could put those discs in the console. Phil, you're a fucking idiot. You own a Nintendo you own the Wii U, and you never realized you could do that. Do you ever wonder why there's a Wii channel on the Wii U dashboard? You want to know why that's there? Oh my god, this fucking idiot. This fucking idiot. This is the dumbest thing. And misinformation. It's misinformation at this point. That he thinks that you can't play Wii games on the Wii U by popping the disc in. Is he that fucking dense? Okay.
Inside of the Wii U and play it, right? But you can get tons of those games digitally. So it doesn't really matter. You got the virtual console on there, right? 3DS, I mean, the 3DS, let's face it, if you don't have a Nintendo 3DS by now, and you're interested in 3DS games, I don't know where the fuck you've been for, like, the past decade, because the thing is, like, the most successful handheld ever.
He finally acknowledges that the 3DS exists, and that it's a successful platform. Every time he talks about Nintendo and how they're a doomed company, he just ignores the 3DS. But now it's successful. Okay.
And you really already missed out. Okay?
You already missed out? How do you already miss out on a console that's still here? What? The 3DS boat is still strong, Phil. I mean, people can still buy the 3... How do you miss out? What? Okay.
No, I don't think that the 3DS needs to have backwards compatibility into the Switch. Honestly, I don't think that the Wii U...
What? 3DS backwards compatibility to the Switch? See, this is the thing with the Switch that I kind of aired a little bit earlier, is that it's kind of a cannibalistic device. It's kind of eating... It's going to eat their handheld market. Like, their handheld market is going to plummet as soon as the Switch comes out. So I don't understand. If I buy a 3DS, why would I buy one? If I'm just gonna buy I don't know. See, that's the thing. It's like, will the 3DS still be supported? Like, if that's the case, then why would they? When they have a better console that's also portable, like, it's kind of weird. Because that's the one thing, like, with the 3DS, is that I barely play when I'm at home because it's like I have a TV. I would much rather play a console game, but I love playing Pokemon Moon as well. So it's like, oh well, I gotta shoehorn that into my day. I mean, the only thing that I'm really excited now is that since I have to, when I go to the EMT shit, I have to wait for a call, and Pokemon Moon is great for passing time or filling in that time until either my shift ends or until the next call or whatever. But it's just weird. But honestly, I wasn't expecting the Switch to play 3DS games, because 3DS has a unique screen because it's 3D without the glasses. So I feel like it needs a special screen to adapt to that or something. So I don't see how the Switch is gonna do that if it's going between the Switch screen and the TV, which isn't a 3D monitor. Unless you have a 3D TV, but, let's face it, not everyone has one. I don't know. I mean, I guess you could argue that if it goes to a TV that doesn't have 3D, it would default to 2D, which I guess makes sense as well, but... let's
what games on Wii U do you want to fucking play on Switch? I mean, if you were a fan of Nintendo, you already owned a Wii U. So it's not like, for example...
But the point of having backwards compatibility is that, let's say I want to play Twilight Princess HD. I would have to plug in my Wii U again to play that game if I can't get on the Switch. Because let's face it, if they do release like Wii U games on the Switch Virtual Console, let's say they do that. Do you think it's going to be like $5 or $10? No. It's going to be $20, $25. It's going to be in the 20s for sure. There's no way Nintendo's gonna lowball those games for anyone. No way. No way. No way.
You know, you bought the PS4, and you really wish that you could play these 2 classic PS3 games on your PS4.
Phil, I know so many people who are begging, crying, praying, whatever, for the Metal Gear Solid Legacy Collection to get a PS4 port. I know that to some people that sounds silly, but a lot of people want to play those games on one console. Because that's the thing. Is that I play my PS3 from time to time and I love using it, but if you were to tell me, how about you have one console that can play everything, that would be fucking perfect. I mean, like, one PlayStation console to play new PlayStation games like PlayStation 4 and below, that the games I already own, because, like, that's the thing. Like, I have the Twin Snakes, Metal Gear Solid: The Twin Snakes. I would love to play that game again, but I can't put that into the Wii U. I would have to find my Wii. I have to find all the cables for it. Then I would have to find, like, the memory card that has the data on it. I have to do all this stuff, then plug it into the TV, plug it into the wall. I would have to set all this shit up. That's not fun. Like, if I had one console that's already hooked up, that would be perfect. And honestly, composite or component, whichever one is the red, white, and yellow, is fucking shit. I fucking hated that fucking input because I would have to be so fucking specific with how I would get in or whatever. I don't know. It's fucking whatever.
It's not like that. You know what I mean? Like, most people probably already have it. I don't think it's a big deal at all. I mean, it would have been a nice feature to have. I don't think, especially if it means that it doesn't increase the cost of the console itself, I don't think you need backwards compatibility. Like
Okay.
Everything is so digital, and a lot of the times you get the digital versions that are emulated or whatever on the modern console anyway. I don't think it's that big of a deal. All right, second question.
Wow, he did not shit on Nintendo in that question. I was expecting him to shit on them, but he didn't, so that's good. Good on you, Phil. The other question would be, do I use a script? Personally, for me, for these videos, these are all, like, off the cuff. These are my genuine reactions or comments to them. Obviously, for my main channel, I don't know, it depends on the video. My Theo Explains It series used to be organic. Like, I did not use a script for that in the first 2 episodes, or 3 episodes? Yeah, the first 3 episodes. The 4th one I'm working on, I actually kind of storyboarded and scripted out. So I am kind of going off a script in that. More so than my Ruby review. My Kill la Kill review, that one I actually did script out, and I did abide by that script. So that one is a better review in that regard. It's just I didn't have any art to overlay it because I fucked up the file and the recording of it. So and I didn't want to delay that review anymore. So.
After watching your gameplay for years, do you use a script for pre-streams, or do you memorize things to mention on stream like plugs and the like? Mostly memorized. Mostly it's all from up here. Every once in a while, there'll be something really important I need to mention on a pre-stream, and yes, I...
The plugs are scripts, and he memorizes the scripts.
We'll write that down or whatever, but mostly right up here. And it's funny, because some people who attend pre-streams, they hear me rattle through plugs and stuff, and they're like, wow, it's Phil reading his plugs. You know, on a radio station, they have the plugs they have to read. No, I'm just doing it from right here, memorized. And then
yeah, but you write down, like, the important plugs, okay, and you read them, that you can easily memorize stuff that you've written down. So at this point, you're just kind of that's why when he goes through his plug segments, you all sound the same because he's reading a script most of the time. But whatever, doesn't matter.
Number 3, are there any stories from your past that you've never mentioned before? I'm sure there are.
Oh wait, excuse me. Any never mentioned stories from the past? For me, yeah, there's a lot, actually. Well, maybe not a lot, but I don't know if I told you this story. But I'll tell you this story anyway. It's from my childhood. It's a great story. I vaguely remember it. I was in elementary school, and I used to be a very, very, like, violent kid back then. I would get violent, get into fights, you know, kid shit. So there was this fat kid in front of me, and I kept punching him. And the teacher pulled me aside and was like, Theo, why are you punching this kid? And I said because he was fat. so I didn't remember exactly that. I was going through like a lot of old files in my basement. I was going through a lot of old shit, and I saw this letter that one of the teachers wrote to my parents. And I was sitting there, I was like, wow, I punched a kid because he was fat. Like, I was an asshole when I was a kid, okay? That was, like, I must have been, like, 4 years, not 4 years old, wow. I was in the 4th grade, so I was however young 4th graders are, but, like, dude, that I was like, wow, I was a fucking dick when I was a kid. There's that. But, I mean, a lot of the other stuff is just kind of, like, stuff just personal shit. There was a lot of stories of me getting drunk. There's one night where I thought I died, and then I didn't die because, obviously I didn't die because I woke up the next day, but, I drink too much one night because I got screwed over in a game of Kings. If you don't know what the game of Kings is, it's a card game, and everyone kept, like, fucking me over in that game. I was, like, almost, in the game, there's this thing called, Make Stone Your Date, which is, if that person drinks, the person who's your date has to drink as well. So, in that game, everyone made me their date, basically. So we kept getting waterfalls. People kept, drinking. So I would have to drink with them. So it was just added alcohol on top of everything. And I got so fucking wasted. But that was like years ago. That was like maybe college. Yeah, it was college. It was college age that was happening. So I mean, it's just college shit, I guess. But that was something.
But here's the thing, and this is the honest truth about not Ask the King, the Hate Live show with the Back in the Day segments. I'm sure that there's tons of stories that I could tell you from my past that would be very entertaining. The problem is, it's in my past, and without something that's like pertinent, it's hard to even recall the stories. It's funny because I won't think of something for years, and all of a sudden someone will bring something up or something funny will happen in relation to something, and then that story will pop in my head because it relates to it.
You can't think of your own past without someone bringing it up. Like, what? Dude, I can recall a lot of stuff from my past. Well, I mean, not everything, but the stuff that stood out to me, I can recall. Not like, okay, I'm going to like a store, and then someone brings up like, that kid's fat. Hey, that kid's fat? It reminds me of the time when I put come on, really? You can think of stuff. Come on, get out of here.
If anything, if I were to bring back, let's say, Hate Live, okay, what I would probably do is every time that I do an episode, I need to have a thread on the forums where people post up ideas for topics that you want to hear me discuss on the show.
Oh my god.
Ideas for back.
Really? Really? He needs people to tell him the segments they want to see in Hate Live, but then what's the point of doing individual videos if you're... Oh, whatever.
Back in the day, because the bottom line is, after doing that podcast for 2 years, I was like tapped out, and I couldn't really think of any more back in the day segments for the show. But it was funny because now I could still, bring up this. Oh, I have a story for that. You know what I mean? So I would need help kind of guiding what to talk about on the show, and back in the day would be one of those things. But
okay.
I'm sure there's tons of stories, but I'm not going to talk about them now. Let's save them for a pertinent time. Okay. All right. The next questions are from Sean Shady. We're still going through the patron questions.
Yeah, part 1 is always Patreon, then part 2 is forum, and part 3 is Twitter. So the other one is that's when we just favorite rappers. Back when I was young, I kind of liked Eminem. He's kind of whatever now. Like, I like a lot of his old CDs. I don't listen to him as much anyway. As far as rappers are concerned, I don't really listen to a lot of rap. I can't say I like that genre too much. So, yeah, I can't really say.
So, Sean Shady 2015. Number 1, he just recently tweeted that you consider DMX your favorite rapper. Do you have any other rappers you like?
DMX is pretty good.
First of all, I never said he was my favorite rapper. I said I respect him, and I actually believe that... Well, no, actually, maybe I did say he was my favorite rapper. I didn't necessarily mean that, What I mean is I respect the guy. Why I respect him is he is a guy. He lives the lifestyle of what he's rapping. Listen to what he's rapping. And I would believe 1,000,000% that everything he ever said in a song, as harsh, as sexist, as violent, and the shit that he says in his songs, I believe that that's him as a person. I do. All these other rappers, right? Especially the ones that are fucking out today, the shit that they say in their fucking songs. And then you see him, oh, here he is in his fucking, $1 million outfit with his fucking prissy boy makeup on his fucking face. He's wearing rings and shit. And
prissy boy, what the... Oh, Phil.
Yeah, you're a real gangster ghetto dude, man. And the stuff that you say, you're gonna really fuck someone up. You say that in your song. I'm sure you do that all the fucking time. There's no cred to it. There's no credibility at all to what they say in their music versus DMX. 100%, I believe that guy was fucking real with the shit that he said in his music. So I respect him for that. I'm not saying that I agree with what he says in his songs or anything, but I remember back in the day, you would listen to his music and be like, damn, I 100% know that guy.
Yeah, look at him. He's not prissy. He's not a prissy boy with necklaces or anything, right? I mean, look at him. He doesn't look like he's rich, guys. What?
Fucking does that shit. Is there any other rappers? I mean, back in the day, when I used to listen to music, when I was in high school and college, it was basically the people who were coming up back then were Dre and Snoop. And, Slim Shady, Eminem. Those were the three big guys. Now, there were other people who were competing, but they were the three big ones. And that was kind of the primarily the focus of all the rap and stuff that I heard at that time. Now, I know right after that was like Jay-Z and all them, and that was kind of like I didn't really care about music anymore. So, really, those would be probably the guys who rap is synonymous with rap in my head. Number 2, I'm not sure if you're aware, but Season 6 of Game of Thrones recently aired and was almost completely...
Okay, let's look at the question here. It is thoughts on Game of Thrones TV show passing the books. Well, first off, the TV show isn't following the books anymore. They said that the ending for the show is going to be different from the books. So, I don't really care about that. And to be honest, the TV show is its own beast. It's its own thing. It's not a, it has nothing to do with the books to me. It just has the lore and the universe of it. But obviously, it's not going to follow the same beat as the books. The books, on the other hand, books take longer to work on because it's one person writing a book and then, maybe an editor. But a TV show, you have a team of writers, a team of you have a huge team. So it's easy, and you have a network backing you as well. So so it's easier to make a show and to move it forward. A TV show takes a long time to make as well, but it's a lot more efficient and productive than writing a book, let's say. Because a book, I don't know how long he usually writes his Game of Thrones books. I don't really read the books. I've seen the TV show, but even that, I don't really like Game of Thrones, to be honest with you. The show is this kind of... It's entertaining, but it's not... If that show were, if the show were to be, mysteriously gone, if they canceled the show or whatever, I wouldn't care. But, a show like Vinyl, that got canceled, that I was devastated by, because Vinyl was a good show. I wish that show kept going, but whatever.
Non-book material since they're past the books, where George R.R. Martin has yet to release The Winds of Winter. The TV series is set to conclude within the next 2 years, and I was wondering what your thoughts are on moving it past the ending.
But the thing is that they've always also said that they keep ending, the show's gonna end after the season. They said that 2 times, so we'll have to see. Part of me, I'm not buying this. Oh, after 2 years it's gonna end. I really doubt that. I think it's gonna keep going. Just saying.
On its own without the books. Good for them. That's all I have to say. Good for them. Because the bottom line is, I'm sorry, George R.R. Martin, a lot of people are saying, oh, he can take as long as he wants, right? Because it's creative genius. And you can't stifle creative genius and you can't rush it. And you definitely need to give him his time to finish the books, right? Because if he doesn't and he rushes through it and it sucks, then everyone will complain. I agree, but at the same time, George R.R. Martin is a lazy fuck. I mean, this guy is...
He's a lazy fuck. Are you fucking kidding me? He works on the TV show. He's one of... he spends his time supervising the TV show. I don't know, the capacity he has on the show, but I'm willing to bet he at least has a, little foot in the door with the TV show. And writing a book, it's not playing a video game, Phil. It's he's creating a lore and a world and all this stuff from his own mind. Like, that is insanely hard, because you have to, like, make the rules for it. Like, oh, well, if we don't have magic, like, what's the extent of the magic that is in the show? Like, they brought back Jon Snow from the dead. Okay, so, does that mean anyone could come back to life? Well, maybe not. Who knows? It's just them looking. He's creating this whole thing, like, zones to the currency, politics, and all this stuff, and how people would react. Because, he has to make it into a living world. If he, like, just. And you don't know what he's doing. Like, you don't know what. For all we know, right now, he's. Like, this is the other thing. A lot of people say he's lazy, but, like. What do we know of George R.R. Martin? What is he doing right now? Can you tell me what he's doing this second? You don't know. People are joking around saying that he's lazy, but we don't really know what he's doing right now.
Doesn't do anything. Seriously. Look at his whole series blew up several years ago because it went on HBO, became a super popular TV series, and then what does he do? Oh, I'm at home writing a book. Sorry, I don't believe that he sat there for fucking 4 or 5 years writing one book. I just don't believe it. What I believe is that he's got all this fucking royalty money rolling in, and now he's living the high life. And so for him, I got the royalty. I don't need to work hard anymore. Man, fuck that. I mean, yeah, I know the book's never finished. Who gives a fuck? Here comes another fucking $1 million paycheck for me. So why the fuck would I care? So I don't think he cares. I really don't. I mean, I get that mentality because I'll be honest. I've said about this before. Reading his books, the last couple books of his that I read, they sucked. Because what it was he wrote this super book, and then he split it into 2 books. So now when you're reading the books, the time frame is going forward in time, back in time, this character, that character, and it's a terrible fucking thing, and he ruined his own fucking book series. So good on them. Whoever's writing the HBO TV series, you do not have an easy job, that is for sure. I'm certainly not jealous of the people who are writing for the HBO series, okay? I'm not jealous at all. That's got to be a tough fucking challenge, simply because you're writing from source material that people are all so loyal to, but the guy fucking never finished the books. And now, who knows, no matter what they do with the show, people are probably going to complain about the ending, but
it has nothing to do with the books anymore. The show is on its own path.
Hey, good on them, and you know what? It is what it is. If George R.R. Martin ever finishes the books, will anyone ever care? Because honestly, the show has become more canon than the books at this point. That's what happens when you're lazy. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, he's lazy. Oh my god, this fucking guy. Like, this kind of shows he has no respect for people in the creative industry like that. Because, you don't want to put out something that you... I had this, little, hidden project. I have boarded. Look. I'll even show it to you so you know that I'm not, blowing smoke out my ass. Look. Storyboards. This is very, not very detailed and all this shit. See? Boom, storyboards. Probably don't know what this is, but I'm working on this whole thing, trying to make it, it's fucking, I have to find out the beginning, how it gets to the middle, how it gets to the end. It's not something that's okay, up, the end. You have to, look at it. Are you fucking kidding me? Phil. Whatever. Take a sip.
All right. And his third question, will you continue your FemShep Renegade run in Mass Effect 2 in preparation for Andromeda coming out in March? Well, first of all...
That playthrough is so old. I don't even... Dude, did he even finish that playthrough? What the fuck? I've never... That is ancient history, dude. What? What?
Well, we don't know if it's coming out in March. They released a trailer, and everyone's excited, and then they didn't give a release date, and everyone's like, we really wanted a release date for this fucking thing. And it sucks because I'm super high. I mean, let's think about the craziness of 2017 already. Mass Effect and Red Dead Redemption are both fucking returning, and Resident Evil are all returning in 2017. 2017 is stacking up to be one of the biggest gaming years ever, but let's not get too over-optimistic because a lot of these years when they have these series continuing, it's not so good, right? Let's see. But, I mean,
Yeah, Red Dead Redemption, right? That's an ongoing series, right?
We're super excited, but we don't know this coming out in March. Now, I would love to maybe do a second run in Mass Effect 2 as Renegade FemShep. Plus, by the way, I haven't played Mass Effect 2 since it was new. That was a long fucking time ago. So now you're talking doing a second playthrough of a game that I only played once. It might be pretty interesting to do it a different way. But that being said, like I already said, the early months of 2017 are stacking up to be some of the busiest months ever for gaming. There's a ridiculous amount of gaming releases coming out in a short period of time.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know if I'd be able to even fit in a run. I would like to, but let's see. Again, feedback. Feedback is key. Let me know. Do you want to see a run of Mass Effect 2 Evil Femme Shep, right? Do you want to see it? When do you think it would be a good time? Because the game release window, like all the game release release dates are pretty much public now. When do you think would be a good time to do it? Are there any games in particular that you don't think would be too interesting that I should skip so that I should maybe do this playthrough during that time as like a downtime thing? Give me your feedback, and we'll go directly off of that. All right.
Okay.
Let's keep going with these Patreon questions because we got quite a lot of them this time around.
I also what the next question is. Thoughts on covering PAX West? Okay, let's just listen to this.
This next one's from Fallen One Gaming. And he says, Phil, I was wondering, could you ever be willing to use a GoPro and a laptop to live stream from PAX West, being that the convention is so close to you? I think it would be an awesome way not only to draw in viewers for an event, but would also be a way to showcase new upcoming games live and your take on them before release. Also, if the dev teams are there, you could be... Oh my god. You could interview them and show the faces behind the games. Just thought. Alright. First off, a GoPro. I mean, I'm sure that this is the camera that you like wear on your head or whatever. I've heard when I used to sell the fucking things when I used to work at like Best Buy and stuff, and they sucked back then. The resolution was terrible. They weren't good quality. Now I hear that they've become like really good stuff, and that the GoPros are actually.
I think even like the movie Hardcore Henry used a GoPro. I think it was either that or some other movie actually used a GoPro, and I couldn't tell. I didn't even know I didn't even realize.
Actually quite good. First of all, I wouldn't use a GoPro. No, I just use a handheld camera. I've been to E3 before. I use a handheld camera, much better. GoPro would be too shaky cam, and the quality wouldn't be as crisp or clear. All right.
But and why would you use a GoPro? Because like it's gonna be like on your head and you're doing this, and it's gonna be very fucking weird because you naturally move your head when you're talking. Like not a lot, but you're moving your head.
The thing, it's very directly related to what I already mentioned previously. I don't have the time. Like, if I took an entire 3 days off to go to say, PAX West. All right. First of all, people don't realize how busy these fucking conventions are anymore. Like, when I started off this thing on YouTube, gaming was just becoming like...
PAX isn't that big of a convention. Honestly, I've been to PAX East, like, in 2010, I think? Maybe 2011? But I've been to PAX East, and... like, it was whatever. I mean, it was crowded, but it wasn't, like... super duper busy.
Like a hobby that was popular. Now it's like the number one thing. It's insane. Parking, you're talking, I have to park like a mile, 2 miles away from the fucking place and walk. Expensive to park, right? And to get in, you gotta buy your tickets a million months ahead of time, right?
Yeah, why park when you could have your girlfriend drop you off?
Which I have really not been on top of or even looking into. Most people who want to get into the fucking convention can't even get into it because they don't get tickets, right?
That's why I buy tickets early.
You get in there and it's a fucking crowded with people, wall to wall. It's hard to record. It really is. And the bottom line is I've already heard that it's become...
I recorded in PAX East. It's not that hard.
Like almost like an internet gaming culture fan fest with millions of people coming in and trying to look for YouTube celebrities and stuff in there. The bottom line is this. If I went to PAX West, I would just be a normal attendee. And yeah, I would film a few things. I wouldn't be able to be a guy who's a celebrity who's covering stuff. Because I'm just not popular. Let's face it, I'm not popular on YouTube or anywhere to the level where I'd be able to get an exclusive interview with a game developer. No one cares. No game developer would grant me an exclusive interview. I'm just sorry. I'm just being real here. I don't think it would ever happen. I'm not trying.
You know, I know a guy who's kind of friend of mine. He actually was able to interview actual musicians. Like I think he interviewed someone from Sublime. I think like an actual like member of the band. He interviewed one of them. He interviewed a lot of musicians for his blog, and he's a nobody. See where I'm getting at? Like if it's a journalistic thing, they will get you. They will give you the opportunity to give a interview. They don't really care. Mega64 was able to get Brandon DiCamillo, who did like Jackass, I think it was Jackass, into a skit of theirs, And I think they also got him to do a panel at one of their own like events or something. So yeah.
Trying to be negative or defeatist, I don't have any kind of a following where I could get my foot in the door. That's the thing. People, again, I'll say it again. People seem to hold me up to the comparison and esteem of these giant YouTubers with millions of subs. I'm never gonna be there, you know. So I would never have the clout to be able to do that kind of stuff. It just wouldn't happen. And the bottom line is, I've been to E3, and the year that I went to E3, I didn't get much exclusive coverage of anything. Really, if you look at my videos from E3 2012 when I went, it was all stuff that you kind of saw from at home. The only things that I actually did there, right, that you couldn't have seen if I just covered it from home, was I played Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, and I played Resident Evil 6, and I saw some footage of Injustice, hands-on, but I didn't get to play it. And that's really it. Like, everything else that was there was stuff that I could have covered from home. And by the way, I wasn't able to record any of those things that I just mentioned. So, the exclusive things you get at E3, you can't fucking record, you know? So it's like, what's the point? It's expensive, you know what I mean? For me, yes, I live right next to PAX West, but I still have to drive all the way there, park, walk, food, tickets. You're talking hundreds of dollars.
I gotta walk, no.
Taking 2 to 3 days away.
Walk, that's hundreds of dollars of expenses to get me to walk.
For my business here, where I'd be recording and putting out videos to pay my bills. Again, it's just like going to the movies and all this. Phil, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that?
Okay,
I don't have the freedom to do it. I don't. Next question.
So, this is probably where he's gonna shit on Nintendo a lot. But, thoughts on the Nintendo Switch and Zelda Breath of the Wild. My thoughts on the Switch, as I said, I feel it's a little cannibalistic with the 3DS. But that aside, I love it. I really love that. First off, they have a normal fucking controller. It's not some gimmicky shit. Like, the only gimmick the console has is the concept of taking it outside of the house. As far as I know, I mean, I don't know if, like, they're gonna have, like, special controller configurations that they're gonna exploit as well. But, you know, as it is, judging from the trailer that they released, I think it's gonna be a very interesting console. And a lot of people like to say, like, oh, what about the third-party support, Theo? The third-party support. I really think that ship has sailed for Nintendo. Yeah, they claim that they have a lot of third-party support for the Switch, but they said the same thing about the Wii U. It's just, we'll have to see. We'll have to see if it has any clout or any substance to that claim. But even then, like, to me, I always thought of Nintendo, like, if you buy a Nintendo console, you're buying for the Nintendo games. Like, if you're really going to consider buying a Switch over the third-party support, then you might as well buy a PS4. The third-party stuff, it's like, yeah, you know, it would be nice to have more than just Nintendo games on a Nintendo console. It would be nice, but it's just, I would never base a purchase of a console off of day one of a third-party support. Like, that is a very shaky judgment call. Because that's what happened with the Wii U. Like, everyone thought that, oh, it's going to have third-party support, it's going to be great, and then, you know, it never got it, and everyone was like, oh, I didn't have it, disappointed. And it's like, and I see people, like, who are buying it into again. It's like the Sonic cycle. They get hyped for Sonic, and then they play the game, and then it's garbage, and they say, oh, I'm never going to buy a Sonic game again. And then they buy the next Sonic game. Like, it's that similar shit, but with third parties on Nintendo. It's like, guys, if you are excited for the Switch over third parties, I implore you to fucking wait. Because if you're gonna buy the Switch on day one, and then the third party support is gone, you wasted money. I mean, yeah, you can sell the console or something, but you wasted your money that you could have probably spent on something else. So that's my thoughts on the Switch. I think it's promising as a Nintendo console itself, and I like that the controller is not a gimmicky controller that's like polarizing as the Wii and the Wii U were. I am curious to see how multiplayer controllers are going to work. I mean, I'm just curious to see how this whole thing like pans out. I think it's going to be more interesting when we see more about it. When we finally see more information coming from Nintendo over this console, I think we're going to get a better understanding. But right now, I'm interested. I don't care about graphics. I think that, obviously it's not going to be as good as the PS4 or the Xbox One, but to me, when you're buying a Nintendo console, you're not buying for the graphics. You're basically buying a Nintendo console for the games, for the Nintendo games specifically, for me at least. My thoughts on Zelda Breath of the Wild is I can't fucking wait. For once, it has an art style that I love. The Skyward Sword art style was like the most annoying shit because it felt like it was trying to be in between, like in the middle of like, hey, you like Wind Waker? Yeah, Wind Waker's great. Oh, you like Twilight Princess? Yeah. Okay, let's put them together and you get like Skyward Sword. And that game, it was just a shitty game. I hate that game. Everyone, you can try to tell me how much that game is great or how good it is. No, you're wrong on that one. I'm sorry, buddy. You can't convince me. The only thing I will give Skyward Sword is that the story is actually decent. It's a good origin story. That's the only bone I give it. Everything else is garbage. The dungeons are crap. The enemy design is garbage. The smaller enemies, those fucking things look so fucking dumb. So it is what it is. So Breath of the Wild. I am really excited. I'm glad it's also coming for the Wii U. So I'm very interested in it. It looks very good. It looks like everything that. The only thing I was thinking of back at E3 was this looks a lot like Metal Gear Solid 5. Like it has the outposts. It has the sneaking. It has all this kind of stuff. I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, this could be like a Metal Gear Solid 5 situation where the world might be bland for a while. Like the trailers might look and deep and enthralling, but then when you actually play the game, it might be bland for some people. I don't know. I loved Metal Gear Solid 5, so I might love Breath of the Wild, but everything about it looks so good. It looks so good. I'm sold on this game, and the fact that it doesn't use gimmicky controls. It's like, thank you. That's what made me stop playing Skyward Sword completely.
From Atlas Telemon. Now knowing more about the Switch and Zelda Breath of the Wild, could you share your thoughts on both? I already shared my thoughts on Switch on my forums and on Twitter. I'll very briefly tell you what I think about the Switch.
Here you go.
The Switch is a portable console. It is not a home gaming console whatsoever. It is the next evolution of the 3DS. Nintendo might not want to mention it, and they want to market it like a home console. It is not. What the Switch...
They're marketing it as both, Phil. Both. They're going like that. That's the one thing that's so great about that marketing, is that they marketed the Switch to both consoles. It's and it gives into context what they were saying like a few years ago about the NX, back when it was called the NX. They were saying like, oh, it was going to be this symbiotic console that's going to be like, this and that, and now we get to see it. It's symbiotic in the sense that, or like, engrossing, because you get to play it at home if you want. If you don't want to take it out, you can leave it at home and play it. Or if you want to take it out, you can. It's this ultimate... It's what they kind of wanted to do with the Wii U, I think. Because I remember like in the reveal trailer for the Wii U, one of the things that they showed was like, oh, the dad wants to watch football and the son wants to keep playing video games, so he can take the game and put it onto the second screen on the gamepad. And I think this is a way that's kind of the next step to that design, and it's also the next step for handheld. They want something that can do both, and they made a console that does both. So Nintendo is not going to confirm or deny that it's one or the other. They're not going to say this is a home console or saying that this is a portable console. They're probably going to call it a portable home console, because it's both a home console because you can play it at home on your TV and you can take it out. It's a console that does both. Phil needs to understand what a hybrid is, because hybrids exist. Just saying.
Is literally Nintendo throwing in the towel.
Forget
it. We realize we can't compete anymore with these other guys who are making these consoles at home. They're not trying to compete with graphics anymore. They're not trying to compete.
They never try to compete with graphics, in my opinion. Like, you might be able to make a case with the GameCube, but even then, it's like, whatever. But the Wii. When did the Wii come out? During the PS3 and 360 game console. And what kind of graphics was the Wii pumping out? PS2 level quality graphics. Nintendo stopped caring about graphics when they announced the Wii. The Wii U? Look at the Wii U. Does that console look like a console of a company that cares about graphics?
With the lineups of games that they're putting out anymore, they're just throwing in the towel and they're saying we're just going to make handhelds, all right? Now, the Switch can be a home system, but it's a downgrade from any of the systems that you have right now, especially because people were so nuts.
How is it a downgrade? We don't even see the console yet. It's not in homes yet. Yeah, the footage that they showed looked promising, but to be the skeptic, that's just marketing. I mean, really, you can make that same case. Like, look at Watch Dogs. When that was announced, oh, it looks so good. Then it comes out and it looks like shit. So, for all we know, the video that Nintendo showed isn't fully representative, but it's a console that's still in development. You don't know much about it other than what it can do. So how are you going to say it's a downgrade already? What?
Heard that the Switch is going to run with graphics better than all the modern consoles. Then what's it going to be priced at? $800? No, of course not. Or else no one's going to fucking buy the thing. And Nintendo would never price a new console that high because they know their market share is for the more casual gaming audience who are just fans of Nintendo games. No one's going to go out and spend $800 on a Nintendo console just to play the exclusive first-party games besides the most hardcore of fans.
No shit.
They're going to release a console. It's probably, of the rumors right now, is that's going to be between $250 to $300. It's going to have terrible graphics compared to all the other consoles are doing.
Terrible graphics. Okay, terrible graphics. Okay.
It's going to be, just face it. I mean, seriously, even the most hardcore Nintendo fanboys at this point need to start realizing reality. They're not trying to compete anymore.
Nintendo fans know this, Phil. I am a Nintendo fan, and I'm well aware that Nintendo is not competing with Sony and Microsoft. That's why that's honestly like why people play their games. That's why people like Nintendo games. Like, look, I bought the Wii U. I would not recommend that console to anyone unless they love Nintendo games. Like, I still play the Wii. It is the least played platform I have next to the 360. The 360 is actually more of a console that's basically a paperweight at this point, but the Wii U is also collecting dust, but I like having it for the sense of, like, if I want to play Super Smash Brothers, I have the option. If I want to play Zelda, I can. If I want to do this, I have it. I have a console that does that. And I got to play Bayonetta and Bayonetta 2. The Wii U is not a console that I could say to anyone, this is a system seller. Oh, yeah, like, if I had just the Wii U, I'd probably be bored out of my fucking mind, but it's a nice complementary platform to have next to the PS4 to me. The Wii U is Nintendo will always be a secondary platform to me, and that's how it was for the Wii, and that's how it's going to be forever for Nintendo. Like, I love Nintendo, I love their products, but they're a complementary console to me. But a lot of Nintendo fans, they probably just don't give a shit about, like, this is the other thing. Phil still thinks that there's this console war that's still going on. That shit has died. No one even talks about that anymore. No one cares. Like, yeah, there are people who are saying, like, oh yeah, the PS4 is better than the Xbox One graphically and this and that, but, like, no one is going out of their way to be like, Microsoft is gonna fucking like, no one has this, like, vigor or, like, this strong sense of, like this mentality that Phil has over Nintendo. No one has that in consoles anymore. Like, it's a dying thing because now people are just like, we just want to play video games, and that's what it is. Like, I mean, maybe it's because we're burned out with all the SJW, like, stress that people have been throwing around, like, oh, you need to censor stuff. Maybe that's what it is. Like, we all are just like, we just want to play video games, and that's what united us, maybe. Who knows?
They just realize they have a market share, a market base, and they're not trying to compete sales-wise or anything with the other consoles anymore. They're not. This console is the proof of it. No one asked for a console that's a home console that you can attach these fucking...
No one asked for this. I think a guy in the Marines or in the Army, wherever, loved the Switch. He loves that he can it's something like that. Like it's either that or someone in the Army expressed interest in the Switch because that's the one thing. Like if you look at pictures, there's people who are in the airport who have their own portable generator that they plug in their Wii U or their gaming console. Like remember back when we had these accessories where it had like a built-in monitor where you could put in your console and play games wherever they go. Like I know people that do that. Garrett from Mega 64, he built a portable monitor power generating thing that he could take wherever he goes. Like everyone asked for this. Like this was something that when I was a kid, when I was a child, I loved the idea of carrying my N64 around and being able to play Super Mario 64 wherever I go or whatever. And that's kind of in what way the DS became, or the Game Boy, or all these other portables. Like, why do you think people love portables so much? They get to gaming on the go. So the Switch is attacking that audience by giving a perfect device that does both home and portable gaming. It's good for both sides of the fence of the aisles here. If you don't want a portable gaming console, yippee, you have your home console that you can plug into your TV. If you want to take it out, you can. If you want to do both, you have both. Like, this whole thing with no one asked for this is fucking retarded. No one says that. Everyone wants this. Everyone would love this.
Sides to it and take it away as a tablet gaming system with you. We already have our fucking smartphones right here.
Yeah, like look how many games I have on my phone, guys. The amount of games might make your head spin. I got Pokemon Go. I got Miitomo. Snapchat. Snapchat's a game, right? Oh, and there was that one time I did have the South Park game that was garbage. It was with Butters and you had to play him around. That game sucked. Every mobile game on the phone fucking sucks, and I hate it. I don't even play games anymore. The only mobile game that honestly I'm probably gonna play is the Skullgirls one. Because guess what? I'm a fucking Skullgirls fanboy. I went out of my way to buy a hard copy of Skullgirls. Fucking fan over here, so of course I'm gonna go out of my way for that, but really? Oh, we got our phones, you gotta play. No one loves mobile games, Phil. You're the only one. He's not a real fucking gamer. Get out of here.
I have that. I don't need to add fucking thumbsticks to the side of my smartphone to play Nintendo games, and I'm not asking for that.
Yeah, because touch controls are the best controls, right?
No marketing
They're terrible
for that. It's just they decide to do whatever they want, and they realize they have a rabid fan base that will buy whatever the fuck they put out there, regardless if they're not making sales numbers like they used to. They're still making enough money, obviously, to keep afloat. Mostly because people ran out and bought amiibos for 2 years like morons.
Like morons. Yeah. Okay, if you bought an amiibo, you're a fucking idiot. You should have bought the Metal Gear Solid 5 limited edition to get this nice little replica of Snake's hand just to have it. This is this is better than an amiibo, and get $100 of figs that do nothing, that just stand there. That's better than buying an amiibo that doubles as a figure for a collection and for a thing that affects gameplay in some way. And also, it's just really dumb that if there's characters that they're making an amiibo of and they wouldn't normally get a figure. That's also dumb, okay? So, look, Rocco from Mega 64, keep bringing them up, I know, you guys are probably annoyed, but he brings up a good point about the amiibos. The thing that he loves about the amiibos is that he is a figure collector, an avid figure collector. He has said the one thing that he loves about the amiibos is that it's a way for people to collect figures for characters they would not normally make figures of. Like, I think he said, Shulk would not get a figure made, or, Little Mac, like in those kind of characters. Like you're not gonna see figures of those characters because those are not very, collectible things. But like, who fucking cares? People like amiibos. Oh no, like people spend. He's just salty that Nintendo is able to like make more money to live while he can't.
So now they can do whatever they want. And once again, they're making a gaming console that's not as powerful. It's not going to be as good. It's not going to have the features of the other consoles. And we're just going to have to realize that's it. That's the reality for Nintendo at this point. Okay?
Yeah, Sony's released the PS4 Pro that doesn't do 4K movies, but it's also coming from the same. But no one seems to care, except for the people that criticized the Wii U for not having DVD video support.
Nintendo is never going to be number one again. They obviously don't want to be, because they're not listening to the feedback of anyone. They're just doing whatever the fuck they want at this point.
Oh. Will he talk about Zelda?
So if that's the case, and it was funny because people always used to blame, the old leadership of Nintendo. That's gone now. There's new leadership.
Get over this. I was reading Dragon Killer's tweets, so I kind of know the gist of this. So just wait where it goes. Goose.
And they're doing the same shit. So it's just going to be what they do from now on. Just relax and face it, all right? Do I feel optimistic about the sales of the Switch? Here's what I think. Switch will sell a lot at launch. Everyone will get the Switch, right? We'll all buy up the first-party games and maybe a few third-party games at launch, all right? But what's going to happen is the third-party games aren't going to sell as well because let's face it, when you already got Skyrim remastered for PS4 and Xbox One and it's running great, and you buy it for the Switch and the graphics are dumbed down and the frame rate's lower and it doesn't perform and it's got cut content because it can't handle it, why the fuck...
Cut content? What? Oh my god. Oh, this is awful. He is just making these like judgments that are unfounded. How does he know it's gonna get cut content? Skyrim is obviously like Skyrim's probably gonna come out on the Switch. It's basically a thing now. It's just that obviously Bethesda doesn't want to announce it because they don't want their remaster sales to go down. But like, how does he know it's gonna get cut content? He doesn't know that.
For the Switch. And that's what's going to happen with every third-party game on the Switch, just like it did with the Wii U and the Wii. The games underperformed on it, and people said, why the fuck would I buy it for that? It doesn't make sense. And the same thing's going to happen with the Switch, and within a few years, no third-party support again. But
watch, if everyone loved the Switch and said it's great, he's just going to say, they're all fanboys of Nintendo, they don't listen, it sucks, it's garbage. He's going to probably be the only one that's going to shit on Nintendo, probably. Watch that happen. That's gonna be funny.
It's gonna be on there, the first party Nintendo titles, and the hardcore rabid Nintendo fanboys. Oh, it's the best thing ever. I love playing my fucking Splatoon and all, because Splatoon now is apparently a launch title, even though we all fucking played it already. Oh, Splatoon's a launch title and all this is so great. And they're gonna be there in their bubble, their Nintendo bubble, while all of us outside are over here playing all of our great games on the other consoles, and they'll be in their fucking Nintendo bubbles. Because that's really what it is now. This fan...
I love how he's... Like, I don't get why he's insulting people who like Nintendo. Like, why? Like, he sounds like as if every Nintendo fan, like, busted down his door and, like, took a shit on him or something. Like, are you fucking for real, Phil? Like, oh, Nintendo fans like Nintendo! I can't believe that! Like, oh, how dare they like Nintendo? Wow, what assholes, guys. They like Nintendo. Like... Really? I mean, that's like me saying like every fan of Phil is a fucking idiot. They're just gonna be in their little bubbles saying that they like DSP, but while we're out here, like it's like that's fucking dumb. People like what they like. I just don't get why he has to like insult them like this. Like if you're a DSP fan and you're watching this video for whatever reason, whatever possessed you to watch this, or let alone make it this far, answer me this. Take what Phil said about Nintendo fanboys. Replace Nintendo with DSP fanboys. Would you still agree with him? Like if someone said what Phil just said about Nintendo fanboys and applied it to you, the DSP fanboy, how would you react? Please let me know, because you would be probably insulted if I or anyone else went on a tangent like this.
The fan base of Nintendo is kind of like the same thing. The fan base of Apple, they live in their bubble.
I love how he's also criticizing fans of Apple while he has Apple products. He doesn't have the computer, sure, but he has an iPad, iPhones. I'm pretty sure at one point he probably had an iPod at some point. But yeah, just like the Apple fans. But like, whatever.
Even though technology has advanced outside of Apple, right? You got Droids and all these other phones and tablets and things that do things better than the Apple devices. People gotta have the new Apple. It's the same thing with Nintendo. I gotta have the new fucking Nintendo, regardless if it's behind the times.
Like, look, I had a Samsung phone before, so I'm gonna talk out of experience because I switched to the iPhone 6s. Yippee, right? The one thing I have a MacBook, as most of you people know. I'm a Mac plebe. Okay, don't fucking hate. No shaming allowed. And the thing is that drove me insane with the Samsung was that naturally it would be hard for me to sync my Samsung to my Mac. I know there's other apps like Keys. Keys would never work for me. It kept disconnecting my phone when it was importing songs or whatever. It was awful. I used their shitty website that claimed I never downloaded Java, which I did. So I was like, okay, whatever, fuck this. And then when I got to the iPhone 6s, I liked it because it synced with my computer. It synced with like all that, and it's fine. I don't have to like deal with it, and that's great. I don't think that Apple is for people who like having more customization and have a little more freedom on their rigs and stuff. Like Apple is obviously not the platform. It's just that people who buy Apple buy Apple. This is coming from him being salty that with over people who buy Apple products and they can afford to buy day one and he can't. Like, you know, I'm sure he's salty that he can't get the iPhone 7. That's probably why he's salty right now, is that he can't get the new iPhone. Because he's behind the times. He hates being that guy that's behind the times.
So overall, I think the Switch will sell to the targeted market, which will be Nintendo fans. And I don't think it's going to do so well outside of that after maybe the initial, the initial, like the Wii U. People bought the Wii U initially, and then after that,
you just said this.
Because no one wanted it. Because there's no fucking games for it worth playing besides the first party games, and that's not enough to sell the whole console. Same thing's going to happen with the Switch, and Nintendo will be in the same situation, so they'll find another gimmick. Oh, man, the Amiibo gimmick wore out, man. We got to sell fucking, I don't know, Nintendo plushies or fucking, they'll do something.
They were doing Nintendo plushies as well. Believe it or not, Phil, Nintendo was a toy company at one point in their lifetime, so of course they kind of know how to market toys. But whatever.
Stupid, that has nothing to do with gaming, to make more money, and people will, the fanboys, gotta buy it, gotta run out and buy it, and they'll make more money to finance their stupid blunders, and they'll keep going. That's what I believe.
Again, if I said this about DSP fans, I wonder what their reaction would be to that.
Alright? Zelda Breath of the Wild. Complete polar opposite opinion on this, as what I just said about the Switch. The game looks great. Open world roaming, tons of stuff going on in the game that I've always wanted from Zelda. It actually looks like it has RPG elements in it that should have been in Zelda from the get-go, but the reason they weren't in there is because it's Zelda, and Nintendo does it the way they want.
Oh my god. Oh, dude, can you just go through a day, talking about Nintendo without shitting on them? Like, he kind of did when he was talking about the backwards compatibility. That was the only thing, but he was talking about backwards compatibility as a whole. I'm sure at one point, when the Switch comes out, or at some point in his life, he will shit on Nintendo for that. He finds the crazy... And you know what? No, this is something I realized. He shat on Nintendo for releasing a game on Friday. I remember this. I think it was in one of the Pokken pre-streams. He was like, Nintendo is so fucking stupid releasing games on Fridays. No one does that. Like, he shat on them really, like, not hardcore, but he shat on them for releasing a game on Friday, which is fucking ridiculous. And now games are releasing on Friday. Never once complained about it. I wonder why. I wonder why he shat on Nintendo for releasing a game on Friday, but he gave Activision, EA a pass, and other companies that released the game on Friday a pass. I wonder why. Could it be that maybe Phil has a bias against Nintendo? And that's the other thing. I was talking, someone in the comment section in my old videos brought up, or on Twitter, brought up, he's only salty at Nintendo and hates Nintendo over the copyright stuff. That doesn't apply to him anymore. He's covered for that. He can still make money off Nintendo playthroughs. So I really doubt that is still like pissing him off right now. I really doubt that's the case. It has to be something else. Part of me wants to pull the racism card, but I don't want to commit to that theory just yet because that's I'll admit even that is a little too ridiculous. I'm not. Phil says ridiculous things, but I don't think he's that ridiculous that he's gonna put a whole race thing on this. I don't think that's the case. It has to be something else. If anything, it's probably that he hates Nintendo for doing stuff that he thinks are fails that, you know, should lead them to bankruptcy, and they aren't, but stuff that he's doing that's similar to, like, I think he hates Nintendo because he sees himself in Nintendo. That's it. That's the thing, because like it's because people have noticed when he talks about Nintendo, he's kind of talking about himself when he brings them up. And I think it's because he sees himself in Nintendo, which is why he hates Nintendo. It's a kind of a self-realization. It's like he's looking into a mirror and he hates what he sees. So there you go. That might be it. I'm more dedicated to that than the other thing I said. So
it seems like it actually has these elements in it, and it looks pretty sweet to me.
Oh, but the other thing I was gonna say, Zelda is not really a true RPG in my opinion. They started implementing RPG elements as far as Skyward Sword is, because you can level up your weapons through that game. Your shields can actually break, so you have to constantly upgrade your shields and all that. Like that's a whole mechanic in the game. But now it seems that they're furthering that concept. Because I think that the reason why they didn't want to commit to an RPG system was that they wanted to make it simple. They wanted the game to be difficult and challenging, but they also wanted it to be accessible for people who just don't want to take the time to learn about stats of weapons. And honestly, when I started playing RPGs, like I started playing Diablo and Borderlands and all this stuff, I was like, what's the difference between these weapons? I just want a gun that just does things. But then it's like, well, you know, in this game you have to look at the class you're in, you gotta look at the guns you're using, like, you know, that kind of stuff. So it's very so it's you more have to pay attention to what you're doing, and I think that's what Nintendo is not trying to do with Zelda. But now I think they're going to go into that path because they want to further the franchise. I think.
The night cycle, leveling up loot, all these things you've seen in other games are going to be in Breath of the Wild, supposedly. So, looks great to me, although it's hilarious, not a launch game for the Switch anymore. Well, shucks, the one reason everyone was going to go fucking buy it. Now,
yeah, because it being delayed doesn't mean that people are just going to buy the Switch ahead of time. Because that's the other thing, like, you know, Bayonetta 2 I don't think was a launch title. People bought the Wii U ahead of time for Bayonetta 2 so they could have it. And what console, honestly, what console had the best launch day, like recently? I mean, PS2 I think had a good one because I think it had Metal Gear Solid 2. It had I think it had a lot of good games on day one. But PS3, 360 might have had a decent launch day, but not a lot of like the PS4 had a bad launch day, the 3DS had a bad launch day, the Wii U had a bad launch day. All these consoles had a bad launch thing. So at this point, like no one is buying the console launch day for the launch games. But whatever.
Now we all gotta sit here and play Splatoon, and supposedly this new Mario game that's gonna be a launch game, even though they don't have a fucking name for it yet. Okay, whatever you say, Nintendo. All right.
Yeah, because the name is like, you know, so important. There's no like, oh, fuck off.
A couple more questions here. From Evoker to the Face.
All right, let's see. What this question is? Oh God. Do I ever feel burnout playing games for YouTube? Well, for me, since I don't really play games for YouTube, I'm just gonna replace games with videos. Do I get burned out making videos for YouTube? I'm kinda, I like this week. This week alone, I'm getting burnt out on DSP videos in particular because it was a bizarre week. Like, Tevin had a bizarre week with DSP where like he was gonna take a week off at some point, and then like DSP had like all these like drama videos go up, so he decided to do a video on that. For this, I am starting to get burnt out because I covered so much shit that DSP has done that it even got in the way with other stuff I wanted to do originally. I don't think because a lot of these special vlogs came out, like his begging vlog, his Patreon vlog, his Pokemon apology vlog. All these vlogs came out, and that kind of killed it for me. So at this point, after this, I might take a break from DSP. I might. So just we'll see what happens. Okay, if there's a video I want to cover, I'll cover it obviously, but I might go out of my way to not do a DSP video maybe. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. There you go. There's that. But YouTube in general as a site doing videos, I'm not burnt out on. I have a very laxed way of going to YouTube and all this stuff. So like even the stuff I just said about doing DSP videos, I mean I still enjoy them. Like it's not like I'm here like, oh okay, it's DSP. Oh, it's not that. It's just that I'm starting to get worried that it will become that. But that's why I think I'm going to take a break from DSP and do like more Feminist Frequency videos, do more other videos that I find ridiculous that come across my way. So I might do that. But I'm not done. I'm not done with YouTube. I'm not done with this channel. I'm not done doing this kind of stuff. So don't worry. Don't fucking worry, guys.
Nice name. He says, greetings and happy Thanksgiving. Phil, my question for you today is this. Since you play games for a living and you try to play most major releases, you've obviously been around the block. Does playing a game for YouTube diminish the enjoyment that you may potentially get from any given game? As in, do you think you would enjoy certain games more if you were able to play them more casually and you didn't have to worry about all the things going on, around a typical playthrough? Does playing games for YouTube ever give you a feeling of burnout, so to speak, because you play so many games? I've always been curious about this and thought you'd be the perfect person to ask since you always give it straight and without the bullshit. Well, here's the deal. The one thing, honestly, for me, that does create burnout when it comes to YouTube, in my opinion, honestly, and I'll be real out here, was the live streams, all right? Because I was live streaming every day, and I had to conform to this very strict schedule of when I was going to be playing the game.
He never had to do that, but like these schedules that he confined himself, he did it himself. YouTube did not like send him a letter saying you have to conform to our schedule. Like he did it himself. This fucking guy, and yeah, that
because I had to set up the stream, I had to get it going, then my website has to update, then I have to tweet out that the stream is live, then I have to test everything on the stream, I have to do a pre-stream, then it's time to play games. Oh my god, I have to use the bathroom. Now everyone has to wait while I go take a break, right? And God forbid something happens during my break that delays me from coming back to the stream because then everyone complains or leaves the stream. And then I come back, and then later on, oh, I gotta hurry through my fucking dinner now because I'm supposed to stream again later tonight, and I gotta rush back to the stream. I think that really the streaming was done way too much. I went overboard with it. And sadly, it became more of a...
But like you decided to do this. Like last year, you tried to get back on streaming, and then you did more streaming. Now it's the same song and dance. I'm pretty sure he said the same speech about being burnt out on streaming last year, and it's like this. It's another addition to the DSP cycle. It's the same fucking shit. It's like another addition to the, oh, I'm not going to focus on negativity next year, guys. It's going to be positive. This is going to be the most positive year for DSP during the year. Oh, great year. End of the year. Oh, I'm so negative. Oh, I won't focus on negativity this year. Like, it's going to be the same shit. he's gonna say that he's gonna cut back on streaming. He goes back on streaming, great yippee, and then says how streaming so much burned him out and it's terrible and this and that. And then next year he's gonna continue streaming more because he did the same shit last year.
Detriment than an asset to my business, because the bottom line was, it wasn't special. It was something that was going on every single day for every playthrough. Even the longest, most drawn-out games that I played, games that were 20, 30 hours long, I was streaming every single portion of it. And I think that really, it kind of made things stressful for me. It did. Now, this particular week is the first week ever I've cut back on streaming. Now, Monday didn't work out so well because all my streaming software and everything crashed. But outside of Monday, this week has gone pretty good. I mean, Tuesday and Wednesday so far, I was able to control my schedule, and even though not everything 100% went according to plan, I was still able to get in all the gameplay that I wanted to get in those days, and I got done what I needed to get done, so things are going good. I had the flexibility to go trim my Christmas tree and not have to worry about, oh no, this or that, and it went pretty well in my opinion. Things are going pretty good. So I think that my new schedule adjustment of not streaming all the time is going to work out well, all right? Do I ever get burnt out? I'll tell you. Want to know when I get burnt out? I get burnt out when I'm playing a game that I'm enjoying, but the game has so much fucking padding that I just want to get to the next part that I know is going to be good. So, for example, Mafia 3 is probably the best example of games that I've played recently that did this. Mafia 3 had a great start. The first 5 hours of Mafia 3 are really enjoyable and fun and great. A great gaming experience. Then you hit the grinding portion where for literally 10 to 15 hours, you have to take over districts in this game. You're doing the same fucking repetitive gameplay over and over and over and fucking over to the point where I'm bored beyond tears, because I know there's moments of greatness coming. Every once in a while you fight a big boss or a district leader and it's a great mission, but then you're right back to the fucking repetitive grind. And that's what I hate. That's what I get burnt out on. It's not necessarily because I'm recording for YouTube or because I'm streaming, but because when I get to those points of the game, I know there's better things I could be fucking doing. There's other games out there. There's footage that people want to see. But because this game went into a huge grind, no one cares. No one's watching. And that burns me out, because the bottom line is really what always got me excited about YouTube was knowing that when I play a game and I'm recording it and I'm sharing it, that there's an audience that cares and wants. They're feeding for the next part, and they're very excited to participate in comments and stuff. And when you get these playthroughs that are like this with the grinding, the attendance falls off and people just lose interest. And I understand why, because I lose interest. To play the fucking game, I'm losing interest. You know what I mean? When I'm playing a game where every day people are engaged and excited and they're coming out to the streams and they're talking about it on Twitter and they're fucking commenting on the videos, they can't wait for the next snippet of that game, that's when I feel the most excitement about doing gaming, honestly. A lot of the times it's not the game, it's the excitement of coming in and seeing other people who are excited to see me play stuff. And every once in a while I get that back. For example, when I was doing the PlayStation VR stuff, that whole weekend, I felt that people were very engaged and excited to see PlayStation VR and see what that was going to be, right? But honestly, it's few and far between these days. I don't really seem to get that kind of excitement anymore for most new releases. Let's face it. Let's talk about a lot of the stuff. Dishonored 2. Right now I'm playing Watch Dogs 2. A lot of the first-person shooter games I've been playing. Basically, the stuff for the past 2 months, honestly. How many games in the last 2 months were amazing, standout games that blew everyone away and couldn't wait for the next part? Maybe the campaign of Infinite Warfare I really liked. But a lot of people wrote that game off because it was Call of Duty.
But the thing is that, like, Xenoverse 2 and probably Watch Dogs, you could have done story missions. And all Phil did was did side missions and side content. Like, that shouldn't have been streamed. The side content should be off-stream, and then the main content, the main story, the stuff that people want to see, should be streamed. Like, that's what he could have done, was that he could have just made the main missions streamed and then the side missions off-stream. He could have just done that, but whatever.
I would say probably Battlefield 1, campaign, a little bit of the multiplayer, that was good. I mean, I'm literally looking at my schedule now.
Dude, he's drinking water so loudly, like, how loud was my coffee sips? How loud was that? Did you hear it go down my esophagus? Did you hear the slurshing in my mouth? My mouth? No. Phil, every time he drinks water, like, it has to be this orchestra of it. It's like it's so It's
And I can't even point to a single fucking release. Maybe, you know what? Honestly, and this is kind of silly. I know a lot of people might say it. Dead Rising Remastered might have been one of those where people were engaged. I was engaged. I wanted to
because it was an old game that had like a lot of like charm in it and had a lot of like frustrating moments. But you don't want to give in to that. You don't want to give it to Scarface. You don't want to give in to Persona 3 because it makes it look bad, I guess. But dude, if you didn't cheese Dead Rising, that game would have been dropped. I guarantee it.
Keep going, even though I was annoyed by the game, I wanted to keep going. And it's sad because like Dishonored 2, I actually really liked Dishonored 2, even though it had a lot of technical shortcomings. But I think a lot of people just weren't interested in it. And that kind of is what creates the burnout for me. It's not. If I weren't playing on YouTube and I was just playing a game casually, maybe I would have enjoyed it more because I don't realize that there's people who aren't engaged and aren't liking the playthrough. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
It's kind of the flip side, too. I'll be honest here. Like, Pokemon Moon, I'm fully aware that Pokemon Moon is not a super successful playthrough. I never expected it to be. My original Pokemon Omega Ruby from 2 years ago wasn't super successful because Pokemon is Pokemon.
Because, no, it's not the game. It's because you kept shitting on Nintendo. Like, no one wants to see that. Like, that's why your Nintendo games don't get views. Because no Nintendo fan wants to go to your stream and be told how they're idiots. Like, you literally said that, oh, they live in their bubbles, they're this and that. Like really? Like, if I did nothing but just slam on DSP fans, I guarantee none of them would give me the time of day to even talk. Really? Really? Jeez, I wonder why TSP fans don't watch my videos. I just can't figure it out, guys.
Pokemon, it's Nintendo, and honestly, a lot of my viewer base are not huge Nintendo fans. And I know that. But I'm loving the game to the point where every time that I'm playing it, and people on the stream and everything are loving it too, and people watching the playthrough are loving it. So even though it's not a huge amount of people, that's a hyper-engaged viewer base.
Hyper-engaged.
Continuing that game, even if it doesn't make me a ton of money or whatever, I still love it. So
yeah, and yet, and right now it's on hiatus. He loves the game, and he's gonna find a way to beat it, and he doesn't mind that he won't make money off it, but it's on hiatus right now. Oh, okay, Phil.
So yeah, I think the one thing that creates, it's not the burnout of having to play games every day. It's not the burnout of having to play games in a certain amount of time. For me, it's the burnout of when I'm playing a game and my viewer base isn't enjoying it. Because then I'm kind of like, damn, and I already started this game, and I know there's some people who are enjoying it, so I can't stop just playing it, right?
Right.
And a lot of times there'll be a game that I really like, and people just aren't liking the playthrough, and that's frustrating. That's what creates the burnout with me. Man, I got to go back and play that game again and try to beat it in the next couple of days, even though I know no one's watching. That sucks. That's a bad feeling, you know? I never used to get that. When years ago, I could play any game on the planet, and people watched. And people were engaged, and I was like the hot shit back then, and now it's kind of different now. That's what creates the burnout, honestly, for me.
Yeah, I mean, it can't be me. It can't be my commentary that's the problem, or the stuff that I said might alienate people and scare them away. No, it can't be that.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, you know what? I was trying to get through all the patron questions in part 1. I still have like 3 more. So what I'm going to do, since I've already been recording for over 40 minutes, I'm going to split this. This will be part 1. I'm going to come back. There's going to be parts 2 and maybe even part 3, depending on these questions and how long it takes me to answer them. Thanks for watching, everyone. So, please stick around. Part 2 and 3 are going to be live on YouTube shortly. If they're not already live, definitely check those out. Thanks for watching. I'll be back in just a moment. Thanks, and see you then.
All right. I'm going to myself, is going to take a tiny little break. And then, I'll continue recording this indoor. Thanks you watched this far, I guess. See you in the next one.